Good evening and welcome to Netherdale, the home of Gala. This is Scottish Rugby Online, coming up live international rugby as Scotland under-20s take on France. I'm Jim Mason, and joining me this evening, Scotland legend Chris Patterson and your match commentator Bill Johnston. As you can see, the pipe band out on the pitch here at Netherdale. The pitch in great condition, nice and firm for both teams. It's a still night, it's a cool, crisp night, but a good night for rugby once the fingers get warmed up. But let's get right down to business. Here's Bill Johnston with a rundown of the teams.
Well, this French under-20s outfit currently sits at the top of the under-20s table, having won all three of its games so far. If the names of the players are unfamiliar to Scottish ears, then the clubs they represent are very well known, because these young hopefuls come from the likes of Dax and Clermont-Auvergne, from Bordeaux-Bègles and Narbonne and Lyon and so on. Now here's the French lineup. At fullback, at number 15, Pierre Juste. The three-quarter line, Hamdaoui and Mignot and Riva and Blanc. A formidable and very fast try-scoring three-quarter line. Keep an eye open for Brandon Fajardo at 10. He's a very good playmaker. And Anthony Merrick comes back into the side at 9 at scrum half. A big front row, Ola Gischenko, Florian Ardiaka, Tommy Reynaud. From Montpellier and Béziers and Narbonne respectively. Félix Lambé at number 4, Jean-Baptiste Singer at number 5, Lespinasse plays at number 6, Jean Thomas is the open side wing forward, he's been brought into the team at number 7, and the captain is the number 8 forward, Francois Cros. And then the Scottish boys. Well, lots of changes in the Scottish lineup this week, and here they are, the 15 who will be looking to record their first win in this championship. Damien Hoyland moves from the wing to full-back. Jamie Farndale, Blair Hutchison, Rory Young and Sam Pecker are the Scottish three-quarters. Ben Chalmers gets his fourth cap at standoff. Murdo McAndrew is his scrum half. He plays at Clermont actually, and he's at number 9. The front row, Jack Cosgrove, James Malcolm and Darcy Ray, a big powerful front row. Two 6'5" lock forwards in Andrew Crammond at 4 and Lewis Carmichael at 5. Tommy Spinks is the captain again at number 6. Gabriel Carroll makes his debut at 7. Magnus Bradbury gets cap number 4 in the number 8 position.
Yeah, thanks Bill. That's the teams for this evening. Scotland under-20s against France under-20s. And of course, the big hello to Chris Patterson who joins us this evening. Chris, I want to take you back to when you were a callow youth. How important a stage was under-20s or in your day under-21s in your career?
Oh, hugely important. It was under-21s in my year. We played under-18s and then under-19s and under-21s. Nowadays it's under-18s straight to under-20s, but it was a huge thrill to represent your country at any level. But when you reached under-21s, it was the next step towards international rugby, and quite often players who I played with had already been involved in the international arena and then came back down to play for 21s. But nowadays, a wee bit younger, but you know, from this group last year, you had Mark Bennett, who's playing really well at Glasgow. You had Adam Ash, who's the same, and then obviously you look at Johnny Gray and the impact he's made. So from these guys, it ain't that far if they perform well night after night against a tough French opposition. But I was 3 months after playing my last game for under-21s to playing for Scotland.
This is a young side, and many of the guys will have 2 years at this level rather than just one. So what challenge does that bring for head coach Sean Lenine and his squad?
It's very difficult. You think at that age you mature a lot in 1 year, especially in a rugby side, and the more meaningful games they get, the better. So it is a really big challenge for Sean. Most of the key decision makers in his side are in their first year of 2, if you know what I mean. So that means they're maybe a bit more quiet than they usually, but they need them to come out of their shell. This is the 4th game in the championship. We really need these guys to come out of their shell, and I'm sure they will tonight. Looking forward to a game against the French on a perfect night, really, for foreign rugby.
It's interesting you mentioned, that players can be quiet at that age. Can you explain why it's important for players to make a noise on the pitch, to communicate?
Well, it's good noise you want. You don't just want guys shouting and screaming and throwing their hands up in the air. You need sort of quality small chat. It could be something like, take the body contact, I'm there behind you, stay on your feet, work a wee bit hard. So what we call in the game small talk, really. clear, concise pieces of information that are going to help each other on the field. But when you're new to it, when you haven't played a lot of international rugby at whatever the level, it's quite difficult. You end up thinking so much about your own game that you forget to add these wee bits of communication to help the team perform. But there is experience here as well, and Jamie Farndale was one of the top try scorers in the Under-20s World Cup last year. Tommy Spinks, leads the side tonight, and he plays in the Championship with London Scottish down south. So there are, experienced players in beside the youngsters that we're looking forward to watching.
Well, remember, you can get in touch with us this evening on Twitter at Scotland Team #BackingBlue. Your questions for Chris or your comments on tonight's game and the games to follow this weekend. Scotland, of course, in action not just here at Netherdale. The Club International is also played this evening. That's a 7:30 kick-off at Old Annie's Land, and we'll keep you up to date with that one throughout the evening. Tomorrow, of course, is the big one, Scotland versus France at Murrayfield. That kicks off at 5 o'clock. And then on Sunday, Scotland's under-18s play England. They're at DL. That game kicks off at 12 o'clock, and I know they're watching this game tonight, so good luck to them. And also Scotland's women on Sunday as they face the French at Lasswade Rugby Club. Free admission at that game, and it gets underway at 2 p.m. Here, though, we're focusing on the under-20s. And Chris, I know that it was a defeat the last time we were here at Netherdale when they played England, but what positives will they have taken from that game?
Another opportunity to play top level game, as young players, and that was a month ago, probably now, or 3 weeks, a month ago. So that memory will still be fresh. The under-20s then obviously went on shadowing the national team and lost in Italy. It's very difficult to play away from home anyway, but age grade, especially against a big Italian side, was challenging for them as well. But they'll have learnt a lot against England. They'll learnt the intensity that's required to compete at this level. And I think the French guys tonight will be a step up from that as well. They have a lot of experience. One or two of the players are currently playing in the top 14 in France, so that's for teams, as Bill mentioned, like Clermont, and they've got a lot of experience. So I think it will be a step up from England, but I'm looking forward to how the Scottish guys rise to that challenge. They've been preparing really well, well coached with Sean Lanine and Ian Monaghan and John Dalziel. A lot of experience in the coaching staff, and we just wait for these guys to, I suppose, enjoy it as well. Let's not put too much pressure on them. They're here to enjoy it and take on a big French side who are going for the title.
Tricolours and saltires waving in the slight wind we've got here at Netherdale. We mentioned the conditions at the top of the programme. Chris, good conditions for a game tonight. I guess these are the kind of conditions that any player would like.
Absolutely. For me, what ruined the game more than anything when I played was the wind. The rain really had an impact, but it was the wind that really kind of had it would dictate the tactics more than really the rain. So a reasonably calm night. The wind here always goes, local knowledge, always goes down towards that scoreboard, so the bottom right corner as we look at it. So there's a little bit of wind, but not a huge amount. But it's great handling conditions. It is cold, but the guys running out there won't be worried about that. They'll be looking to get the ball in their hands and take on the French as soon as possible.
And you can see just in the top left corner of your screen there's quite a sizable amount of French support here. We've been making quite a lot of noise pre-match, but that's just what you want as well here. You want a little bit of an atmosphere just to lift these guys, Chris.
Absolutely. You see the guys coming out of the tunnel now, led by Tommy Spinks. And sorry, excuse me. You only have to look at the management of the French side to see how formidable a side as well. Two of their coaching staff or their management staff, one Fabien Pelouse and Olivier Magne. So there's experience on the French side as well. But the Scottish guys come out, get the first taste of what the match atmosphere is going to be like. There's actually a big, as you mentioned, travelling French support, which is great to see. And let's hope they're treated to a bit of action.
Okay, the team's lining up in front of the stand here at Netherdale. You can see that French support quiet at the moment, but I'm sure they'll be roused later on in the game. Some great punning names in the French lineup for Bill Johnson to get his tongue round later on in commentary. Just looking at this one, you mentioned the impact that some of these players have made coming into the full squad. looking at some of the guys in this squad making that step as well, Chris?
I hope so. I really hope so. And games like this and nights like this, that's what the stepping stone is. So they perform here, who knows?
Okay, time for the anthems. It was, of course, La Marseillaise. An impressive rendition of the anthem there, not just from the fans but also from Bill Johnson, who was word perfect to my right. Well done, Bill. Excellent. And now it'll be Flower of Scotland.
Big start. Let's go now. Okay.
Our bird's eye view of Netherdale, albeit it's a low-flying bird, gives us still a very good picture of proceedings down there on the pitch, which, as Chris has mentioned, is in absolutely perfect condition. I have to say, Chris, if the French wanted any sort of surface to play on, this would be what they would be looking for.
Oh, absolutely, it's perfect, it's firm and it's dry, which we've already touched on is really important, and they've won 3 from 3, so it's a big challenge for the Scottish guys, as we see Ben Chalmers getting ready to get us underway.
Referee tonight is Dan Jones of Wales. There's the whistle. Here's young Ben Chalmers, the young 18-year-old from Melrose, kicking off, gathered immediately by French and returned almost into our commentary position here. Anthony Merrick, the wee scrum half with the orange boots, and we'll get an indication of the size of some of these big French lads against some of the Scots boys. There are some sizable units in both sides, because Andrew Crammond and Lewis Carmichael at 4 and 5 for Scotland are both 6'5". There's a lovely Scottish ball. Here's Magnus Bradbury taking it forward now. Scotland in the light blue, don't be confused by that. There he is, number 4, Andrew Crammond taking it up again. Well done by McAndrew to get it away on the left. It's like Zulu and Rorke's Drift in the noise in the stand there, but believe me, it's the French support. Scotland again. Murdo McAndrew just popping the ball out to the left, and the Scottish pack getting stuck in very quickly. Good take on again. Big Bradbury, the number 8, likes to get mucked in amongst them, and gives them a very good lead at times.
Yeah, it was him, the initial hit up as well. It's interesting, Scotland went to a shortened line out for the first line out of the game and got big Magnus Bradbury into the game. He ran, made a lot of hard yards, and it was the forwards that carried it on. Good for Scotland to build the phases. Didn't make a huge amount of territory, but they've had their hands in the ball and they're settled into the game.
Lovely tap back there by Jean Thomas for the French. Back come round and drive, the pick up and drive away again with the front row in the middle of it there, Oshchenko and Ardiaka. Penalty against Scotland.
Yeah, it's a big French pack, isn't it? And, very efficient there, winning their penalty. As you see, outside half, Fajardo going to kick his first penalty. That's a big boot. It's an impressive strike as well to give the French an attacking opportunity just outside the Scottish 22.
Fajardo is one of these guys who's played a bit at scrum half as well, I understand. He's a bit of a Freddie Michalak sort of player,
often happens in France. They kind of play each other. I think of Morgan Parra in the World Cup 2011 played most at 10. El Assad and Michalak were famous for switching, so it's something to develop over in France.
Well, you played about everywhere. Did you ever get a game for Scotland at scrum half?
I got a cap at scrum half. Came off the bench when both nines were injured against Fiji in 2009.
Oh, Lord. There we go. Some time ago. France then, playing right to left in royal blue. Lovely ball out from Merrick, the scrum half. Good tackle on Fajardo though, but he still manages to retain possession and control. Lespinasse, the wing forward, takes it on. Scotland trying to get the turnover. See the bulk and the collision force of these French forwards. Lovely sort of percussion away there. Jean Thomas, number 7, big lad, with his back to us. And here goes Lespinasse again. Oh, Lespinasse trying to go through again. Plays for Bordeaux, just a couple of metres short of the line. There's the hooker. That's Ardiaka. And France yet again, up in the Scottish 22. Riva, who's just come into the team. Excellent engagement there by the Scots. That was Darcy Ray, the big prop forward, getting into them. Chance for a drop goal here from Fajardo. Just wide. He had a drop against in the Six Nations this year against Italy, just about a couple of weeks ago. So he'll maybe do a touch of the Duncan Weirs tonight again.
Yeah, and sometimes that's, we'll hope it doesn't strike it as well as Duncan Weir, but that's a good a piece of play for Scotland, really defensively sound. Conceded yards once or twice, but then managed to get the defensive line, put France under pressure, drive them back, and eventually they resorted to having a drop goal attempt that ultimately missed. So good start for the Scottish defence.
Here's Merrick, and this is Lucas Blanc, left winger for the French. Merrick again, feeding it out. Crow, the captain, caught there and well caught by Cosgrove. That's the halfway line. Here come France again. Advantage to Scotland. Damien Hoyland. Now this lad can run a bit, but he opts to kick. Right over the top of Lucas Blanc, and that's touch.
That's a nice kick from Damien Hoyland. Plays mainly on the wing, but actually started the first game of the Six Nations against Ireland in the centre, so showing his versatility there. And for not a normal fullback, he did very well there. Picked the ball up from advantage, surveyed the scene, and found a lovely long touch down the right hand side just in front of us. But again, the Scottish defence held fairly firm there. Already they've made a lot of tackles. We don't want to make too many tackles because you tire quicker, but it'd be good to get our hands in possession and perhaps turn over this line out.
Scots just out jumped there. That was big. Lewis Carmichael just couldn't get fingertips to it on the French throw. Up comes Hoyland. No knock on. Referee says it went back. Carmichael got across very quickly to tidy that one up. McAndrew to Chalmers. Moving it left, far side. This is Hutchison. Again, the Scots move it wide. Chalmers, he just leaned back on that one a wee bit and kind of got underneath it. Oh. Best catch of the night for Lewis Carmichael, but it was a significant yardage offside. Penalty to France.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Ben Chalmers. The call actually came from Jamie Farndale out in the wing there for the high ball, because the French defensive line was set really quickly, and then because they were set quickly, they were managed to come up and put a lot of pressure on Ben Chalmers. Therefore, the kick was sliced a tad, but well taken by Lewis Carmichael, certainly.
Fajardo puts the ball down into touch.
Again, it's another opportunity for the French to attack. You know, outside that first line out in the first minute for Scotland, we've been defending ever since. So that's where the momentum can build against you. So we'll look for a turnover soon.
Beautiful take by that was Lombe, the French second row. Knocked on, I think, in the line out. So the Scots are going to get the scrummage 15 metres in.
This is important to get a good outcome from this.
And the scrummage 15 metres in, and it'll be a Scottish put-in, Chris.
Yeah, it's important to get a good outcome from this, and well, first of all, a good scrum. The first one in the game, obviously, and as always, the props will be seeing what they can get away with, figuring out their opposition. But for Scotland, you know, don't automatically think about kicking. Have a look, see where the French are placed, and if there's an opportunity to run and then kick, look at that. But we'll see.
Darcy Ray on this side of the scrummage in the Scottish front row, there he is with that white scrum cap on, turns the scales at 18.5 stones. Now the guy who's opposite him, directly opposite him, Oleg Ischenko, number 1 in the back of his navy blue jersey, is 15 stone 6, so he's 3 stones lighter. So that's a significant weight advantage for Darcy Ray, but of course so much of the front row play is about technique. Let's see what happens. There they are, there's the set. French with a wee bit of a nudge on that. Pick up by Bradbury. Here he goes round the side. Crowe has got him. Very physical into the contact there, the French number 8. And here go the Scots with a secondary drive. McAndrew. Lovely take there. This is Pierre Juste from Dax. Caught before he could really get up ahead of steam, and a quick turnover there by the Scots. McAndrew again looking for Farndale. Oh, and he's just put it out. Put it out. Ah, well, just a little bit too far, but good work there in the breakdown by the Scots pack. Yeah,
Tommy Spinks especially. You see him there in the screen of Captain Thomas. He turned that ball over. It was a good kick initially from Murdo McAndrew, a good chase, and well tackled by Jamie Farndale. Then Tommy Spinks came in, pilfered the ball, and unfortunately for Murdo, his second kick just went out in the full.
Lovely take there by Lombe for the French. Oh, and suddenly this burst of pace here as Hamdaoui comes in. And here go the French up the far side. That was Juste the fullback. Penalty to Scotland. Way in that far side. Listen to the French support and the Scottish support in this Netherdale stand. They're loving it.
Good defence again and good work at the breakdown. You obviously saw Captain Tommy Spinks in the back row win a turnover. That time it was winger Sam Pecure getting his body over the ball and winning a turnover for Scotland.
Ben Chalmers' kick didn't find touch. Here come the French again with a return. Chalmers underneath, whips it infield. Here's Hoyland. Hoyland putting pressure on them. This is behind Lucas Blanc. Awkward bounce for the wee French left winger. And, well, he got it into touch, Chris, but it wasn't the most dignified of kicks.
I'm not sure I'd have pulled the grabber out the bag in that situation, but he got away with it, didn't he? Again, though, you know, that's the second time Damon Hoyland's found space in behind Blanc on this left wing side for France, and it's an opportunity now for Scotland to try and build a few phases. And as you see, they've cut the line out again, down to a 4-man line out.
In the games, the 8 games that these teams have played against each other, France have won 7, and Scotland have only managed 1 draw. That was in 2010. Last year the French won 13 points to 10, so it was quite close. And the year before that, here at Netherdale, 2012, it was 30 points to 21 for the French. So recently there's not been an awful lot between the two sides. But tonight, it's a fresh start. There's young Murdo McAndrew there, who plays his rugby at Clermont in France. So 1 or 2 of his teammates in this French opposition tonight. There he is with ball in hand, and number 7 alongside him is Gabriel Carroll, who gets his debut cap for Scotland under-20s tonight, packing down on the left side of that scrummage. Big hefty Scottish back. Here the French wing forward saying, attends, wait. When a lovely half break there, almost through Rory Young. Quick ball for McAndrew, and the forwards have got it. Here's Spinks with that red scrum cap and fizz, like a militia beacon it is. Very quick up there come the French. That was Lombe, Felix Lombe, number 4. Away go the Scots again. James Malcolm. McAndrew. That's a penalty against the French. Yeah, and I think they know it. Or is it a knock on?
He's given a knock on, yeah. Usually you're not allowed to touch the scrum halves. It's a penalty offence if you interfere with the scrum half. But I think it's the referee's ruling that the Frenchman who came through the middle of the rack actually knocked the ball and not Murdo McAndrew at scrum half. But again, good phase of play by Scotland. Haven't made a huge amount of territory, but are keeping hold of possession. Try and stretch this French defence.
So there we are, just coming up to over 11.5 minutes played in this first half at Netherdale. Scotland under-20s to the left in the white jersey and the French under-20s to the right in royal blue. Les Bleus. Free kick against France. Against Scotland, I should say. Here come the French at speed. This is Riva. Out it comes along to Mignot. Big, tall, rangy centre. Fajardo again, and then Blanc in the left wing with a wee kick ahead. The Scots are having to scamper back. Rory Young was there first. It couldn't quite gather it. Tremendous speed in the follow-up there by the French, but well recovered by the Scots there. Hard tackling.
He mopped up and McAndrew found touch again.
As is the case with every French side, you just get the feeling that they are blessed with a lot of pace in the team. Here's Lespinasse taking it from the tail of the line out. And that's Ardiaka, the hooker. Here they come again, switching it from one side to the other. Tommy Spinks put the tackle in well. And then the Scots, big Magnus Bradbury at the bottom of that lot, number 8 in the back of his jersey. Good counter-attack here if they can just get some forward momentum on it. Chance here up the left wing for Sam Pecker. He's got it. Pecker in front of the Netherdale crowd in the main stand side. McAndrew. Good spell of play here by the Scots. And they've got the penalty.
Well done, good attack. Moved it wide. It was an interesting kick through from Blair Hutchison, but Sam Pecure did well to regather it. And then you see Gabriel Carroll there, a big, strong number 7 winning his debut tonight, but took the ball, took the physicality to the French and won the penalty. And Benchammers finds his touch this time. So a very close opening 15 minutes or 14 minutes or so. A lot of defending on both sides, but really quite impressive start by both sides on attack and defence.
So this line out just outside France's 22. Throw in by James Malcolm for Scotland. There he is, ball in hand. Lewis Carmichael, number 5, goes up, gets it well. And I think he was taken there before when his feet were still off the ground, so that's a penalty. This is kickable, Chris.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Benchammers, and the first thing he did was point at the posts. Obviously, you're not allowed to touch the jumper, the man who's in the air at the line out, and Lewis Carmichael was pulled down there by the French second row. So it gives the first opportunity for points to Benchammers. Out in the 15-metre line. It's a reasonably long kick. It's quite a big pitch here at Netherdale, but this is certainly within his range.
And if you were a Hoyk player who's played here, you'd say the posts were always moving when you were trying to kick towards them, but there we are. Anyway, here's young Chalmers, son of Craig Chalmers, of course, capped 60 times for Scotland, British Lion, and no stranger to Netherdale himself in his playing days. So let's see what the youngster can do. Kick of about 40 metres. Oh, the crowd liked that one. Up go the flags. So the Scots are in the lead by 3 points to 0 after some 15 minutes here at Netherdale.
A good kick by Benchammers. That'll fill him full of confidence. He doesn't have the biggest boot, but he's really accurate, and that was a great strike. Not only did it clear the bar, but it had lots more in it. So it's a warning sign to the French that he's on form from 50 yards possibly.
Chris, how would you describe the run of play so far? Was that against the run of play? I thought my feeling has been about 50-50.
Yeah, well, just as I said, yeah, I think both teams have attacked with vigour, but both teams have defended well. So I think 15 minutes in, there's very little in it, but it's good to see Scotland get the first points on the board.
Farndale on this side, and then Hoyland at fullback had to knock it on because the pass was telegraphed a little bit, and the French are up very quickly. And Sam Pecker there, whom you see just jogging back into position, couldn't get his hands on the ball.
Yeah, that's twice so far. I think that the French have sent a shooter out the line. The first time was a big second row, Les Panazzi, I think, and I'm not sure who it was that time. But it's a risky tactic, but done at the right times, it can put the attack under pressure. That time it worked for France. They forced the knock on from Blair Hutchison and have a good attacking opportunity now. You
can see by the sort of condensation coming out the mouths of the players that it's a cold night here in the Scottish borders. And plaudits there for Jack Cosgrove on the Scots' loose head. And is the referee wanting... Yeah, the Scots have got the put into this scrum second time round. Young Cosgrove there, who plays his rugby down at Worcester, in the Worcester Academy. They're on loan to Doncaster Knights at the moment. Turns the scales at just over the 17 stones. And his dad, Craig, used to play for Coventry Rugby Football Club. So there you are. There's a wee bit of history for the lad who's on the far side of that Scottish front row. McAndrew with a put-in. Big drive by the French. Completely disrupted the Scottish scrum there. Bradbury has a lot of cleaning up to do. If he can manage this, it's something of a miracle. Well, they've done it. The pick and drive round the side now. Just tidying it up. Wee exits play here. Chalmers drops back at standoff. There's the kick. Not found touch. Caught on the far side by Hamdawi. And here's this fullback, Just. When I was checking his name out in the Google translation yesterday, it came out as righteous. Not just, but righteous. However, there we are. Here come the French again. Oh, and the Scots are getting stuck into them tonight. Fajardo with a kick. Now he started to make a wee mistake or two. Caught there, well caught by Gabriel Carroll at the second attempt. In fact, it was Rory Young. I thought it was a 7 on his back. It was a 12. There he is, big Rory Young. Has played a bit at fullback for Scotland under 20s. Played against England here at Netherdale at fullback.
The Scottish defence did well there, didn't it? First of all, to deal with the scrum that was disrupted, and I think in those two scrums we saw both times it was the team without the put-in that became the dominant one. So maybe there's something there, and obviously at the high level as well. You see when the hooker lifts his foot to hook the ball, that's where there are 8 players pushing against 7 effectively. So both scrums there, and just towards the end of that passage was dominant for the team not putting the scrum in. But Scotland did well to scramble it clear. A long kick
for me, and a great insight for viewers and listeners as well, because you see so many things that these young players are doing which pass the everyday observer.
That's the exciting thing as well. I mean, I work with a lot of these guys in the 16s to 20s age bracket, and the things you can see, you can hopefully help them. It's really quite a rewarding thing that you get to help those players in their career.
That was a bit crooked, as they say. Referees giving the put into the French this time. Just a young referee tonight, Dan Jones of the Welsh Rugby Union. There he is in centre picture. And gone as they wanted to, and they maybe expage with 20 minutes gone, and the Scots leading by against Italy in the second game that the French played. They won that one 34-0. So here's Fajardo to see if he can get France back onto level terms. At the moment it's Scotland 3, France 0, as you can see from that score line at the top of your picture. And this kick is about 42 metres into a slight breeze. Was given that very good contact indeed. But it's gone just wide and maybe slightly short. So the Scots breathe again. Chalmers thought about taking a quick one.
It was a well struck penalty by Fajardo, wasn't it? It was just outside his range, and that wee breeze you mentioned, I think, was the deciding factor in one. But well struck, and you can't give him too many opportunities.
I was interested to hear you say in your pre-match piece that Sean Lenine and the coaches were looking for some of these young Scots lads to start taking the initiative and sort of showing the brilliant tackle there. And that was Sam Pecker that put it in. Now the referee's arm is raised. Is it a try?
It's a try for Fajardo.
It's a try for Fajardo.
Yeah, that was just as we were talking. A killer blow for the French, but it actually came from a slip. The dropout was a good dropout. It was kicked long. And Crowe, the captain, took it. And if you watch James Malcolm, number 2 for Scotland, he slips in the defensive line. Just there. And the gaps. Crowe's good enough to take it and surveyed the seam and burst through. But look at the support line of Fajardo, working hard to get on that angle and having the pace to finish off despite a wonderful effort from Sam Pecure. Now, was it 2 movements? Oh. Well.
Oh, did he ground it?
I think if that,
answers on the postcard.
His momentum continued. He didn't stop and start again.
Fajardo then puts the French further ahead. Scotland 3, France 7.
And just following on from the point you were making about the Scottish guys stepping up, I think they have. I think they've started reasonably well, but this is a crucial moment. Just when you've been 3-0 up and within a blink of an eye, you're now 7-3 down. These are the moments in games where you need that maturity to come through and you need the players to step up. And let's, go back to your systems, get a good kick-off, try and win the ball back.
And in the twinkling of an eye, suddenly the balance swings in France's favour. Merrick, the scrum half, clears. There he is, this young lad who has played his rugby at Ayr and is a former under-17 and under-18 cap for Scotland.
4-man line out again, Bill.
Good jump and take, well done by the Scots. Here's McAndrew looking for runners. This is Farndale coming through, giving a target for the rest of the pack. Good clearing out work. This is Carmichael now. Well caught there by Thomas. Chalmers. Hoyland with a wee wiggle but not able to get through. Good running there by the Scots. That was Magnus Bradbury. Wee McAndrew's having to work very hard and he's doing it well. Away goes Carroll, Gabriel Carroll, and this is first cap game. Over the top by McAndrew, could change the tactic. Knocked on by Hamdawi on that far side, another young lad from Clermont.
That was a good decision from Murdo McAndrew. All the French defenders were on their feet. No one French defender was off his feet, committed to the breakdown. They were all in a stiff line across the field. So Murdo read that. He chipped it over the top because, I think the Scottish guys had 2 or 3 players off their feet on the breakdown. So the space was in behind. And it gives themselves an opportunity through the knock-on to have another attack. And that's where we said we want the guys to step up after losing that try. And they've done that. They've had a good line out, a good phase of play. Now they have a scrum, an opportunity to build phases yet again.
Let's see how Darcy Ray on this side of the scrum gets on. Oh, and that's a penalty to Scotland this time because Oleg Ishchenko took it down on this side. I always think kickers need to take time just to settle themselves. Sometimes I get the feeling that some kickers are just a wee bit hasty and actually going towards the ball.
Yeah, I think so. He's just a little bit quick on that one there.
Chalmers again. Here's Hoyland. Hoyland's got a bit of pace. Good. Oh, if that had gone in front, I think Rory Young could have been away. So important to get the pass in front of the catcher and in order so that he doesn't have to check his pace, can continue his running and burst onto the ball.
Again, we saw the French defender shooting at a line, putting that pass under pressure. It's risk reward, but it's working for the French so far.
And just behind the thrower, you see the giant figure in the touchline there. That's Fabien Pelouse. You can see him just standing watching. He's the team manager for this France under-20. And of course, he got 118 caps for the French in his time. Very good second row player. Scotland working hard to try to disrupt French lock, this French maul. Ardiaka has it now. Oh, knocked on by France. Well done, the Scots.
Oh, somebody's getting stripped at the touchline, I think. Somebody's lost a jersey. Well defended in the end by Scotland, but it was a
12 minutes to go to half time. There's the scoreline at the top of your picture. The French leading from that try and conversion by Fajardo. Ben Chalmers having earlier on kicked the Scottish penalty. And this is Murdo McAndrew winning cap number 4 under 20s level. And a wee bright spark of a scrum half popping the ball in. That scrum is very difficult for the Scots to control, but I have to say Magnus Bradbury's done great things there. There's McCann passing and knocks on, and I think somebody has to take the hammering earlier on there rather than just keep shipping out bad ball.
Yeah, it was disappointing that actually, because they'd worked the opportunity to attack the blind well, but then didn't execute. The timing was off a little bit. I think that the first option for Murdo McAndrew to hit got too flat, and we ended up being in front of him, so he couldn't pressure. The space was on the blind side.
Merrick again. Plays his rugby at Toulouse, this lad. Of course, they're all groomed for stardom, these guys, in the Toulouse and Toulon and Béziers academies, which are object lessons in how to prepare young players.
Good defence again.
This is Lombe, who's a very aggressive, lanky, rangy sort of second row forward. Here's his teammate Singer, and away goes this elusive winger, Blanc, Lucas Blanc. Seeming to glide through gaps that weren't there. Now the French with another wee head of steam, just picking up and driving. On goes Singer again. Oh, what a lovely wee reverse pass. Oh, and the crowd in the stand start to sing. Marseillaise. And they get a penalty right in front of the Scottish posts. And they certainly exerted a lot of continuity pressure on the Scots that time and forced the error.
They did the different ball carriers stepping up every time as well for the French, and an interesting little pass from Singer, the second row, that looked a tad forward to Blanc on the wing, but they kept going. The Blanc hit it up there, and then from there Cross hit it up. Singer carried the ball, so they're sharing the workload. But credit to the Scottish defence as well; they kept putting their tackles in. I was watching them to see how quickly they went for 3 points.
So Brandon Fajardo with this straightforward kick, just 12 to 15 metres or thereabouts. Yeah, just chips it up and over. Another 3 points for the French. So Scotland 3, France 10 is the score now. Just over the half hour gone.
See Magnus Bradbury there calling out to the troops. He's played well, as you say. He's tidied up loose balls.
I was going to leave it to you, Chris. I knew you had by far the safer pair of hands.
I'm not sure. My hands are pretty numb already. I think I'd maybe knocked it on.
Well, it's a lovely night for a game of rugby if you're a player, but if you're a spectator, you have to be well wrapped up because there's a cool breeze. Temperature around about maybe 4 or 5 degrees tonight. Here come the jumpers. Lovely timing of the jump. Great pass by McAndrew. There's Chalmers. Bradbury almost through, and away goes Spinks. And Carroll is there as well. Then the other. He saw that sort of very quick line of defence by the French and decided to go back the way he'd come from, and he ran into a wee bit of trouble. But here's big Bradbury taking it on again. Rory Young, wild pass which the centre couldn't take.
Yeah, that's frustrating. That's a frustrating phase of play, because Magnus Bradbury started off with a physical run into Fajardo, made some ground, got a lovely offload to a great support line from Tommy Spinks, and Scotland were in behind France, causing a lot of problems. But then after that, the ball slowed down. The ref did his best.
Here's
to get
the wee fumble again, Chris, and you see just a kind of wild pass there, which
it all comes from being put under
Rory
pressure.
Young couldn't get. Yeah.
You know, once it broke the line, they were in command, but then the French slowed the ball down, and everyone's then trying to solve the problem on their own from the Scottish point of view, and not working coherently. But certainly positive signs with Bradbury and Spinks getting in behind the French defence.
So there we are with just under 6 minutes to go, and it's Scotland 3, and the French have actually scored 10 points. Just for those of you who have switched to this online coverage tonight of the Scotland under-20s game against the French under-20s from Netherdale, The giant figure of Fabien Pelouse. Big man in every way. Scotland took that one very well. Chalmers with a high, Gary Owen. Just is underneath it, takes it well, calls for the mark, takes it quickly, and off he goes. That's a penalty, and it could be a yellow. Well,
I think Rory Young got away with it there.
I think he got away just
away with it.
10 metres further on.
Yeah, I think that is a professional.
Yep. Yeah, not straight in the wind, I think, kind of got.
Who knows?
Well, this lad Ischenko on this side of the French front row is 3 stones lighter than Jack Cosgrove, but he is a hard prop forward. Cosgrove's got him going this time. Here's Chalmers, long pass out it goes. Half break there, and that was Blair Hutchison trying to do a bit of penetration. The Scots are finding it difficult to get through the 20s team. McAndrew with a kick over the top. Inside the 22, caught and marked by Pierre Just, the fullback.
Yeah, another example, just as you said that, Bill, the Scottish guys are struggling to get behind because the French are staying on their feet. They're not committing to the tackle too heavily. They're wanting to tackle. As soon as that tackle's made, they're fighting hard and working hard to get back on their feet to fill the field, giving the Scots not a lot of options, and the option then is to kick, but that was a bit too long for Murdo.
Indeed. Oh, McAndrew's in a wee bit of trouble. Watch your back. There's a Frenchman behind you. The crowd are shouting. That's a very good kick. That is a very good kick. And that really had Lucas Blanc doubling back, but in vain, because the kick was perfectly judged. A
beautiful wee kick from Murdo McAndrew, and he spoke earlier on about the wind going to that bottom right hand corner. I think actually the wind's picked up a wee bit since we started, so it's something that the Scottish guys want to bear in mind for the second half. But probing that corner again, that's the third one that's went in behind Blanc, putting them under pressure.
Here's the throw in. Ardiaka with the throw. Oh, well pinched there by Tommy Spinks at the tail. Or was it knocked on first of all? I think the Scots boys have competed very well, and I think they've shown a self-confidence in this match, which is an improvement on what I saw against England.
Fortunate slip that led to the try and a penalty ahead for them, but the game's been fairly even, Bill. The scrums and line, it's been even. I think where the French have it on us a wee bit is their organisation and defence. They look hard to break down.
Here's the wee tap with the ball and a tremendous scrummage drive by the Scots, but the French have controlled it. Beautiful backhanded layoff there to Riva, the centre. Fajardo and Hoyland's underneath it. Here's Damien Hoyland, returns the compliment. Scottish hands on that one. Here it comes. McAndrew to Chalmers. Good burst there. Big Bradbury again. Hoyland. Here's Rory Young. Owner Young's beaten the first tackle, and this big rangy second row forward Lombi got across to tackle him, which was just as well. Scotland have played some very enterprising rugby. Here's Rory Young again. 6'3" of him. Over the top from McAndrew. Back goes Merrick. Lovely catch on retreat.
Well covered. Very difficult to catch a ball as it's coming over the top of your head and you're running backwards towards your own line, but Merrick did that well there. He mopped it up. But again, as you say, Bill, a lot of nice attack from Scotland, but it's all in front of the French opposition, the French defence, because they're getting on their feet, they're filling the field. And other than that one burst from Bradbury and an offload to Spinks, most of the play's been in front of the French defence.
Chris, you hinted at the strengthening breeze. That could be an advantage to the French in the second half.
It could, absolutely. And that's why the last minute or so of this first half are crucially important. If Scotland can get points here, that'll really help their cause turning around into the wind in the second half.
James Malcolm with a throw. Lovely take by Lewis Carmichael. And there is the whistle for half-time. So that's been a very entertaining first 40 in which the Scots have given as good as they've taken. But it's the French who lead at the turn on a scoreline of Scotland 3, France 10.
Yeah, half time here at Netherdale. It's a tight one. France in the lead by 10 points to 3. I'm going to blame Bill Johnston here. He said hinting at a freshening breeze. Hinting at a fresh. It's absolutely freezing up here. The wind whipping across, but it's a good game of rugby, and Scotland well into this particular match. You're watching Scottish Rugby Online. It's a big weekend of international rugby. Scotland against France at Murrayfield, and the Scots go into this one.
Banners blue.
Yeah, great scenes there. A kid at his birthday party at the end there, just full of excitement. Fantastic. We're going to take a short comfort break for Messrs Chris Patterson, Bill Johnson and Jim Mason, and we'll be back with you in a couple of minutes' time.
stubborn defence.
That's
Chit chat with one of his.
I think he scored a try actually. I think there's some heroic defence from Scotland time and time again. You thought, the French are going to make the line, but the scramble defence was great. But the number of phases, that must be up in the high teens. And indeed, it did make the line.
And so that takes the score up to 18 points to 3 for the French. And we'll find out who the try scorer was.
I think it was one of the front rowers.
I thought difficult to say which one, but we'll maybe get a wee replay and see in a minute or two.
And although Scotland defended well and they kept the French were making, even if it was an inch, even if it was 2 or 3 inches at a time, they were making yardage.
Yep.
And of course the Scottish players have to get back onside behind the foot and then commit to another tackle. So disappointing to concede the score there with so much effort in defence, but that's what I just said, just 2 or 3 minutes prior, we can't let them get any further ahead.
I didn't hear the public address system mention the name, but I didn't hear who it was. But it is a try for the French. It's 18 points to 3. And here's the conversion. And that one's gone past. So it stays at Scotland under 20s, 3 points. France under 20s, 18 points. Here by Jean-Baptiste Singer, number 5 for the French. Carmichael for Scotland in there, fighting hard for ball. There's the controlled drive. Bound on very tight. Typical French forward play. That's bread and butter to them. Scotland again in very hard. Lespinasse, big, strong, comfortable on the ball. Good engagement by Scotland in midfield there, though, and that forced a knock on. And that's the sort of thing they can do and that they have to keep on doing. And it was Mignot, number 13, who was forced into the error. So Vellacourt has the chance of the put into the scrummage.
Yeah, that's it. I think the message maybe coming on from Fabien Pelouse. I can see him at the far side waving his hands. His forwards had made 25, 30 yards with that drive, and then took it out the second time in quick succession. Actually, Mignot and Riva have forced a turnover. It was the same before. They tried to get the offload away. So the message may be coming on from the French management to keep it tight, to keep that driving ball. So hard to do, but so difficult for Scotland.
Has played his part in this game. So again, that's a more tidy scrum for the Scots. Vellacourt deals with that well. Chalmers looking for support, gets it from Rory Young. He's caught there by Meret, the replacement standoff. Vellacourt with a wee half a gap there. Now he'll have to get this one back or the French will pinch it. He's managed to do that and do it well. Chance here for Cosgrove. Cosgrove goes with a lovely wee burst of pace. That's good belligerence there from the Scottish loose head prop. Vellacourt now on the front foot. Chalmers. Long ball. Hoyland. Where's he going? He's looking for support and it's coming behind him. Here come the Scots again. Chalmers puts the ball deep, almost into the hands of Pierre Just, the fullback. Just knocked it back. Chalmers covers. He's got Sam Pecker on this side. Pecker hasn't had a run in this game. Let's see what he can do. Look at the number of Frenchmen round that ball and over the ball, and a penalty to Scotland.
Yeah, Sam Pecker there. I think we're quite fortunate to get a tackle. Look who made the tackle for the French. The line chase from Felix Lambé. We've mentioned him, the shocker red hair. He got up and made the great tackle. I thought we were quite fortunate to get that penalty, to be honest. But the French look full of energy, and I think it's just a result of Scotland having to defend for long periods. So we're looking for as Isaac Miller comes over just in front of us to throw the ball in here to retain possession. Substitution at standoff for Scotland as well. Gavin Lowe's come on.
Indeed. Here he is, number 23 for Scotland, and off goes Ben Chalmers, so we'll see what Gavin Lowe can do. He plays his rugby with Glasgow Hawks and an elite development player with the Warriors in Glasgow. Here's Big Bradbury again, Magnus Bradbury, very good. Bringe, as they say down in the borders here. And then Darcy Ray takes it on. forcing the French into some very good tackling. That was low again. Velacotte, low. Here's Cosgrove. The French have got a mark this time. Not getting as far in the run this time as he did just a few minutes ago. Hoyland. Good ball, chance for Pecker. Scots upping the pace a wee bit. Lowe getting the ball through the hands. 2 tacklers in there.
Here's an opportunity for Gavin Lowe to put the ball into the 22.
Scotsland with Velacotte at scrum half and Lowe at standoff. And a new hooker throwing in, and there he is, Isaac Miller. Loughborough University. Used to play for Stu Mell and Curry. Let's see what happens with the throw-in. Lovely take there. I think that was Andrew Cramond who got that one. Now the Scots are trying to do to the French what the French did to the Scots, and Lombe has read it well and he's come through on the Scottish ball carrier. And the French will get the put in. This lad, number 4 for the French, just getting up there off his knees, Felix Lombe, is a very, very good player.
Yeah, he did really well there. Actually legal what he did as well. He came through the line out, through the ruck, and Maul on his own. He managed to fight through. Now, he shouldn't be allowed to get through there, but he got through, managed to hold up the Scottish attack and get the turnover.
Now we're seeing a wee change in the French front row, and we're losing Tommy Reynaud in the tight head prop, and I think it is Adrien Vaslin who's come on. Is it number 18? Yes, it is. And we'll just see him in a minute or so once the scrum forms. But there's the Scots guys, just getting 1 or 2 words of wisdom from the water carriers, carrying on instructions, no doubt, from the team management.
Yeah, and since that last try for France, we've had the share of possession, we've had the territory, which is good. Let's not let the French get away from us too far. Stay in the game. That's really, really important. And they've done that well the last 5 minutes since France scored the last try.
Now, number 17 has come on for Scotland. That's Phil Kringle. He's come on at tight head prop, way in the far side of that front row, with a nice white clean jersey. Meanwhile, Anthony Merrick ready to put the ball in for the French. Ben Velacotte standing in close attendance for the Scots. Better scrummage from the Scottish boys there. That's a very good scrum, and they've earned themselves a penalty. And you're right, Chris, about the scrum that's having to hook the ball is under pressure.
And that was a great example of the team working together. You could see the timing was good, the set at a decent height, and then they all worked together in unison to put the pressure on the French. The French packing a wonderful drive, resulting in a penalty, and another opportunity for Scotland to hit back after that last French try.
Gavin Lowe with a put into the kick to touch. Isaac Miller with a throw. Now he's got Crammond standing at 2 in the line out. There he is with his hands up. And he's got Carmichael behind him. Let's see who gets this one. Might go to Spinks towards the tail. No, it's gone to Carmichael. They're going to try and drive over. Great camera work there, showing you lovely clear pictures there of the Scottish pick and drive. Right at the back of it. Oh, and the French have gone all over the place. The Scots are still driving towards the try line. You can see the scoreline. The French have got a comfy lead, but the Scots are really upping their game in this second period. Velacotte looking for the support there on the tight pass. Here he goes again. Everybody sort of nudges forward when the forward of the ball takes it into contact. Now the French are having... Oh, and there's a try given. Great score for the Scots. Let's see who gets up here.
I think it's Andrew Crammond.
Crammond with the credit for the try.
I think it was, but well done. Good sustained territory and possession. A quality drive that actually Sam Pecure and Damon Hoyland joined in on to give an extra wee bit of bulk. Then had to recycle, and as it came out to Crammond, he had to drive through.
We can see it again. That is a tremendous drive there. And I think it is Andrew Crammond who's got the touchdown. Big lad with a sweatband there, just getting up and walking away. Now, Gavin Lowe, a left-footed goal kicker, you'll notice, has to kick this one into the breeze, which mercifully has dropped again because it was very cold. Just on the French 22. Oh, has that one just sneaked in? Oh, it's hit the post! The wind just drifted away that little bit. You know all about that, Chris?
Yeah, it's disappointing, wasn't it? He actually struck it quite well, but just the wind caught it and it came off that post. And it'd been good to see that going over, obviously, but great to see Scotland scoring a try and taking on the French where they're strong. They took on the pack, they've driven them back, and Andrew Crammond fought hard to score his try and drive over the line.
So there we are, there's the refreshed scoreline. Scotland 8, France 18. All of this at under 20s level here, of course, down in the heartland of the borders. Vellacott catches the long kick-off and returns it. Away on that far side, Merrick, the scrum half, whips it infield. Lespinasse holding back when these guys have been trained to run at full tilt. Serin is on as a replacement scrum half now, I think, for the French. Number 21 there. Again, forwards take it on. Ischenko this time.
Tackle by Andy Crammond.
Oh, and here's a lovely break by Serang. Pass knocked forward. The French are very keen to take the ball in hand and go at the opposition. They're full of confidence.
Yeah, they reacted well to losing that score. And again, going back to ground to their strength, to their forwards. And you see number 5 there. He reminds me of a guy I used to play against. He played before me as well. Olivier Roumar, very similar in stature and look, and the socks down and the shaven head, and he's carried a lot of possession 2 or 3 times there. He fought hard, then got the offload away. But as it came out to Serin, the replacement scrum half, he knocked on. So they increased the tempo, they lifted it up a wee bit after conceding that try, but in the end, again, a good spell of defence for the Scottish lads.
And once again, can I just apologise to you, those of you who are watching, if you've had any difficulties with the picture or sound from Galashiels. We've had 1 or 2 technical problems with the satellite tonight. I do apologise if it's spoiled your enjoyment of tonight's coverage, and we hope that you're now receiving everything clearly.
The refs having a word with Phil Kringle, Scottish replacement prop, and Ischenko, who's been on from the start for France. And I think again at that time it was the non-feeding scrum, so it was the French scrum that was dominant, with Scotland putting the feed in, but who knows what he was saying to them.
Loads of replacements on in the French team. 21 there is Serang. Number 20, the wing forward, is Bachelier. Difficult to see who he's come on for, but we'll sort that out in a minute or two. And 22 is the new standoff, Meret. This is Vellacott for Scotland.
Well done, good scrum.
Penalty against the French. Jack Cosgrove is very pumped up for this tonight, isn't he? Oh, look at the head going.
Yeah. I think he speaks French, Bill.
Well, there we go.
He did tremendously well in Ireland. Jack Cosgrove came off the bench. He started the first game of the championship. He started on the bench and then came on the second half and made a big difference. And he's a strong player. We've seen him carry the ball well and obviously scrum well here tonight. So he's playing well and he's looking fresh. You know, it's 65 minutes in for a prop and he's still performing like that. It's great to see.
Here's the Scottish throw-in then. Isaac Miller. Phil Kringle at the back of the line out, number 17. That goes Andrew Crammond. Oh, and the French have pinched it. Ooh. Bang, thump. Can almost feel the thud of the bodies here. This is This is Ituria, who's a replacement lock forward.
No. French are getting frustrated. The more they throw at Scotland, the
Temper's beginning to fray
the more resolute the Scottish defence. So you can see the French getting frustrated because they're throwing everything. They're driving hard round the corner and fighting hard in contact, getting offloads away. But again, the Scottish defence is just standing up to them, defending well, and the French are getting frustrated. There's a bit of life left in this game yet.
Miller to throw. Oh, great take there by Carmichael. Vellacott. Penalty again, the French. Here's Vellacott away in one of these wee sniping runs of his. Trying to get outside Baptiste Serang, but he can't. Forced into touch. Serang with...
Yeah, Ben Vellacott, it's his...
No, the referee won't let that go because he's sorting out the trouble in the touchline. The play had gone on, the French had tried to take a quick one.
Yeah, Vellacott, he's so quick, he's so sharp. As I mentioned earlier on, he scored a try against Ireland from a quick tap at the start of the season. And again there, he's got his side, although unfortunately he got driven out of touch, he's made his side 40 or 50 yards. Very quick thinking. And a quick tap, and again we saw a wee bit niggle coming in from the French. They're getting frustrated. That's an opportunity for Scotland to capitalise on that.
New replacement hooker for the French. This is Ruffinash. There he is with the throw in, long one away to the back, taken by Bachelier. And Serang with a kick. Oh, well taken there by Gavin Lowe. And the French loved that. And the Scots did very well to recover from it. Vellacott waits. Up the side go the breakaway forwards. Vellacott again. You can hear the French support in the stand away in the far side. Vellacott has to burrow in, French hands coming over. Just beginning to lose their composure that they've had in the first hour of this game.
Absolutely, and this is great for Scottish rugby. It's great for these guys in under-20s to be in this fight, against an upset French side, and there's still quality on show, and there's still a desire. This is exactly what these players, we spoke at the start, what did they learn from playing England? And I think they got that experience from being in that environment, and they're showing what they learned against England here. Let's hope they can capitalise on this and get another try on the board and put the French under some real pressure.
Miller again with a throw. Has to hit the target. Brilliantly taken there by Glenn Young. Here goes Rory Young, his namesake. Yeah, handball on the deck. Or was it not rolling away? Ooh la la. As they say. Now then, English with a Welsh accent from the referee. French understanding, back they go into position. And Francois Cros, the big Toulouse number 8, who's the captain of the French side, is having to calm the troops down. Gavin Lowe takes a kick to touch. Yeah,
there was a wee bit of debate there whether to go for goal or go to the touchline, and I think that's the best decision. Go to the touchline. It's a long kick.
Absolutely.
They seem to be having a wee confab, but this is where they scored the try from the last time, so let's see if they can do it again.
Well, here we are in the last quarter of this game, some 11 minutes or thereabouts to go. And Miller with a throw, and Young with a take. Glenn Young's a big lad, 6'7". Played his rugby at Jed Thistle and Jed Forest before he went to Newcastle Falcons. Good drive by the Scots. I think it's a much more aggressive performance by the Scots in this game than it was a few weeks ago when they played the English lads here. Vellacott up the narrow side, looking for a runner. He's got Rory Young there. There's the cavalry coming to the rescue. Taken on by the pack again. Vellacott moves it wide. Bradbury trying to run outside the tackle there of Crow, and he almost got away. Here's Gavin Lowe, the kick to the corner, the kick pass. Farndale, chance here, Hoyland! Is that a try? It's a try. Huh! Unbelievable. Great try by the Scots. Damien Hoyland, after Farndale forced the error, 13 points to 18. The French still in the lead, but the Scots are clawing their way back.
Fantastic try with Damien Hoyland.
Look at this again,
Gavin
Chris.
Lowe, he saw the space out there after Bradbury. How many times has he carried him 8 yards tonight? And again, the clear out was good. Velicott whipped it away to Gavin Lowe. Now he saw the left winger Blanc being isolated. A fantastic kick. Good chase by Jamie Farndale. Look at Damon Hoyland just sniffing. Oh, there it is. I'm going to score that and bring Scotland right back into the game. Fantastic time to score.
Now, Gavin Lowe. You could write your name in a wee bit of history, son, if you kick this one from wide out, because this would narrow the gap to 15-18. Let's see how it goes. Good contact. Ooh. Well, I think I put the hex on him.
That's disappointing. You know, there's it was wide out, but I think he's probably still on a high, an emotional high from that try and pumped up. That's where you have to lower your heart rate. You know, take everything else out of your mind and focus on that moment. But you know, the Scots have lifted the game. It's now 13-18. Let's see if we can get back down the field and score another try.
Murray with a dropout for the French. Was that Jamie Farndale taking it into them there? I think it was at full tilt. Velicott's done well. Young's got a hold of him. Oh. Well, things not going just quite as the French wanted. There's big Fabien Pelouse standing at the touchline. Not smiling, I have to say.
Yeah, I think the French replacement scrum half Seron threw the ball into touch, but I think the referee's saying it was going forward, so I think it could be a scrum as opposed to a line out for Scotland. But great to see Scotland coming back into the game. You know, they're 18-3 down. They fought back, scored 2 good tries, and that's exactly what we wanted to see. We wanted to see the reaction. We said earlier on, you know, let's not let France get too far ahead. Stay in the game, and they've certainly done that. And they've got an opportunity here to win, to beat France for the first time ever at this level.
This game's winnable.
Absolutely. They've played, I think, taking 20 under 21s and under 20s into account. There's been 27 fixtures, drawn 1, lost 26. This is an opportunity for these guys here to make history.
Well, there they are. 6 minutes left. The Scots need territory because they're in their own 10 metres area at the moment. So they need to get it down to the left-hand end as we see it. The French, laced with talent, blessed with pace, and skilled to the nth degree, but only 5 points ahead. So it's going to be a very interesting last 5.5 minutes. Either side perfectly capable of scoring a try. Here's Velicott with a put in, Miller with a strike. Scotland have got the nudge on, and they've got the penalty. Now this is where cool heads are called for.
It's a good side of the field for Gavin Lowe. He's a left-footed kicker, so you know it helps. Every little helps, and he can hopefully, his last kick to touch to set up the line out for the try was a good one.
It's long, but it hasn't found touch. It's been marked, and that was Serang, the scrum half, who's returned it with interest, but that hasn't found touch in either. Velicott. Here they come. Here's Hoyland. This guy's got a bit of pace. Oh, Picker took his eye off it. Chance here for this massive centre, Mignot. Big lad.
Oh, disappointing there. You know, it was actually a disappointing from Gavin Lowe to miss touch, but then there was a counter-attacking opportunity. Damien Hoyland made a good decision to stretch the defence, and unfortunately Sam Pecure couldn't hold the pass.
Well, for those of you who are interested in results elsewhere, we can tell you that in the Club International, which is being played at Annisland, the French are leading the Scots by 23 points to 3 after 63 minutes. That's the Club International at Annisland. France leading Scotland 23-3, 63 minutes played in that game. Into the last 4 minutes here at Netherdale. Big nudge from the Scots. Tremendous drive. Bradbury goes. That was one against the head for the Scots. Vellacott gets it out. Low. Young put the kick in. He needed to because the French were up in line. There was no way through there.
No, it was a right option. We'd like to have seen it stay in play, but it was a right decision because the pass would have been shut off on the outside. But a wonderful scrum again from the Scottish 8, pushing the French off it, winning the turnover. And then here's another opportunity. Let's keep the pressure on France. Let's try and put someone up, try and win this line out, put them off the stride, don't let them get an easy out.
Rufenach with a throw. Glenn Young tried to get in and intercept it. Here come the French with this driving maul, which has been so profitable for them tonight. But they're not getting so far this time. Merin. Sort of leisurely language, sort of kick of the ball there by the French scrum half. Here's Hoyland. Oh, great ball! Superb ball! Farndale. Great support there from the pack. Vellacott brings it this way to Farndale again. Vellacott moves it the other way. Hoyland taken on now and maybe dropped by Phil Kringle. The ball just going to his hip. Wasn't the best of passes. Merang knows what to do. Get it down the field. Spinks infield. Low. That's a good kick there by Gavin Lowe. Pushing the French back. Time running out for the Scots. Good finish to the game though, Chris.
Oh, absolutely. Again, Damon Hoyland working hard, but Jamie Farndale, 2 wonderful breaks there and a controlled offload as well. Getting in behind the French defence, but unfortunately knocked on by Phil Kringle. But then, you know, a calm head there for Gavin Lowe. He took the kick and he's put the French under pressure again. They have to win their own line out. Let's again get someone up against it, put them under pressure. As you can see, they're taking it as long as they possibly can, but a great finish to the game here at Netherdale.
Well, here's the French to the throw in. Who'd be your man of the match tonight then, Chris? We'll just have a wee think about that in the next 2 or 3 minutes, and we'll possibly come up with an answer towards the end of the game. French have taken line out ball, as you can see. Phil Kringle here sticks his head in, number 17 for the Scots, trying to stop this surge. This is very well organised by the French, with a big fresh lock forward, Arthur Ituria, right at the head of it. Then the Scots nudge them back again. Great tackle there. That was Neil Irvin Ness, number 20 in the back of his shirt. There he is. Lovely ball out there. Here they go again. Oh, now we move, bringing in Hamdawi from the right wing. Ituria. Oh, and the Scots have got a penalty. Last chance.
Let's
It's
go.
all happening. Vellacott. Spinks takes it on. Here they go again. Oh, Hoyland. Always dangerous, always looking for runners. Brilliantly tackled there. That was a superb ball embracing tackle by the French right winger Hamdawi. Bodies all over the place. French have got the better of this breakdown though. into stoppage time. Oh, long kick. Seren. Oh. Let's see what you can do then. Pecker. Sam Pecker, full of urgency. Velicott moves it out. Here they go again. Rory Young. Good play by the Scots, taking the ball wide. Farndale now surrounded by half of France. There's a lot of tricolour on the stand at the far side. Scrum down, but the referee indicates that's the end of the game. So, man of the match, Chris?
Well, a few good performances. I must say, before we go into that fantastic effort for the Scottish guys and to finish the game, I mean, look at the French guys. They're out on their feet. So brilliant for the guys to come back and disappointing to lose, but my man in the match was outstanding, and he came in a white jersey of Scotland. It was Scotland number 8, Magnus Bradbury.
Magnus Bradbury, man of the match. So there we are. France win the game though. There's the final scoreline at the top of your picture. Scotland 13, France 18.
Yeah, credit to France, 18-13 winners over Scotland. Credit also to Scotland for a tremendous second half performance. Great performance to come back into it. Good game of rugby, played in great conditions. Thanks for bearing with us. We had satellite problems throughout the game, but we got it fixed towards the end there. I hope you enjoyed this coverage of the match between Scotland under 20s and France under 20s. You said it there just at the end of play, Chris. Well done. There's Magnus Bradbury going through the shot now, man of the match. I mean, he led by example with the Scots coming back into that game.
He did, and we spoke earlier on about leadership and how important it was to the senior players who are young to fire on and drive the team on. He did it through his action as well as his leadership qualities. He broke the line on numerous occasions. He made a lot of good tackles. And I just thought he led from the front. I thought, Andy Crammond scored a good try. There was some, good performance obviously in the French side as well. I thought Merrick, the scrum half, was a tidy wee player. But for me, Magnus Bradbury, he's an EDP player with Edinburgh. He's a full, a professional in that sense, and he showed that that's where you want, the rest of the team to look up to. This guy trains every day with Edinburgh, puts himself about in the gym, and he certainly put themselves about it there. And fantastic display from him, along with a whole host of others out there tonight.
Unfortunately, that Scotland, played 4, lost 4 in the championship. But it's about rugby. It's about winning. But that they'll take a lot from that game. There'll be a lot of encouragement the way that they played, particularly in the second 40.
Last time out, we lost 32-13 to Italy. France had beaten Italy 34-0. The French are a quality side. We already said beforehand that there's a number of these players play top 14 rugby, and for the Scottish guys, although it was a defeat, I hate losing, I hate to praise defeats, but there was a lot of good in there, and we saw a huge amount that they learned from the previous 3 games.
There's a good-natured pitch invasion by the French supporters who are waving their tricolours on the Netherdale turf.
they're getting run off now, though.
Great scenes here, but the one thing about France, I mean, what was the difference when it comes down to they won the game? What was the difference between them and the Scottish side tonight?
Well, there was very little in it, I thought. And I thought the scrum and line it was fairly even. I said before the half-time break that the French managed to fill the field in defence. It seemed to be that most of the Scottish attack was done in front of France. Their defence was strong, but there's very little in it. I mean, let's be honest, there was 2 or 3 opportunities there at the end. Unfortunately, Gavin Lowe missed a couple of kicks. That could have been a lot closer on the scoreboard. So very little in it, but I think what probably stole it was the driving maul and their ability to get on their feet in defence and fill the field.
That's the under-20s against France here at Netherdale. That was tonight's action. Tomorrow's action at Murrayfield, 5 o'clock kickoff, Scotland against France. I'm going to put you in that dreadful position that people do. How difficult is tomorrow's game to call?
Very. Usually I have a hunch. Usually I have an idea how it's going. Tomorrow I don't know. The French could be anyone. They could be the world's best, but they can also be very beatable. They need a reaction. They were outplayed in Wales, outfought, outmuscled, everything they lost every battle in Cardiff last time as well, so they'll need a reaction. Their fans, their public, their coaches will demand a reaction, and they'll give one, but what reaction will that be? Will it be aggro? Will it be violent? Will it be coherent? Who knows? But for me, Scotland had the confidence of winning in Italy. We had a disappointment in the last time out against England, and we want to play well in front of our home fans. A full house again at Murrayfield tomorrow. We want to do that. To call it, I genuinely don't know.
Well, remember, there's more rugby on Sunday. The under-18s, Scotland under-18s, will play England at DL. That one kicks off at noon. And, of course, Scotland's women are in action at Lasswade Rugby Club on Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock. Get yourself along to that one. That is against France women, and the admission for that one is free. That's all we have for this evening. It finished France 18, Scotland 13. My thanks to Bill Johnson and to Chris Patterson. Many thanks also to Jack McGill and the team from Quipu TV. Tomorrow, Scotland lock horns with France, and there'll be some interested spectators as members of the 1984 Grand Slam team will be there to cheer on their modern counterparts. We'll leave you with some memories for that vintage year for Scotland. From everyone here on Scottish Rugby Online, good night.
Well, even a 25-25 draw with the New Zealanders was no guarantee of great success in the 1984 Championship, when Scotland were led by Jim Aitken.
When we arrived in Wales, we were actually fairly confident. You know, we had quite a few players who had just come back from a Lions tour, and we had the measure of most of the home union players, and we were fairly confident starting off the season.
Now it's Roy Laidlaw. Keith Robertson up after it. Dusty Hare comes in, a bit of indecision as Robertson went for it, and Hare took it second time. Calder gives it to Domes. Domes drives on. A lovely layback there for Laidlaw. There's a chance on the overlap as Kennedy goes through. That's a brilliant try. Ewan Kennedy, the scorer. Deans throws long. Paxson Campbell charges on. Laidlaw goes. Laidlaw cuts back, going for the line. It's a try. Scott's arms raised aloft as Roy Laidlaw scores his third try for Scotland and puts them in the lead by 4 points to 0 with 4 minutes gone.
Well, actually, after we won the Triple Crown, I was quite satisfied. I didn't think beyond the Triple Crown win, because it had never been done since, I say, Wilson-Shaw's game in 1938. So when we came to the Grand Slam, I don't think there was the same hype as there was in later years with the 90 game, and certainly it wasn't England we were playing.
Hanging on those last 3 minutes or so. It's a try there for Scotland, and the scorer is Jim Calder, and they've gone into the lead 16 points to 12. The kick to Blanco. Blanco showing an accustomed frailty there. Dodds has it, the referee's whistle goes for the